Welcome back, fans, to an all-new season of TMB TV right here on TheMonsterBlog.com. It's season number 4, and it's going to be one of our biggest years ever, as we are very proud to welcome E3 Spark Plugs as the new presenting sponsor of the TMB TV channel here on TheMonsterBlog.com. We're kicking off the year with the TMB TV original series. This is episode 4.1. Can you believe it? 4 years we've been doing this now, and now we're going into the second year of new programs, MT Unlimited and Action Tracks. It's going to be a huge year for TheMonsterBlog.com, and we're so glad that you're joining us for all of it here as we start out 2011. Well, we wanted to start off the year in a big way, and how about with what has become one of the premier indoor arena series in all of monster trucks? That's right, fans, Monster Nation. TMB TV is here at the CenturyTel Center in Bossier City, Louisiana for our first episode of the year, and it's going to be huge. Equalizer, Hot Tamale, Barbarian, Tailgater, Big Dog, and J.R. McNeil starting off his rookie year in Raising Cane. It does not get any bigger than what we're going to be seeing here this weekend. These guys know how to put on a show. This series is one of the top in the nation, and for several years these guys have been doing a great job. First time they're going to be on the Monster Blog here this weekend, and you're going to see an incredible show from all these guys. And hey, how about a backflip attempt by Mad Mike Hawkins? All of that and more is coming up next for you on TMB TV, presented by E3 Spark Plugs, and it's coming your way right now. TMB TV is starting the new year in style. 2011, we're here on the Monster Nation Tour in Bossier City, Louisiana. We've got with us Ryan Seddon. Ryan, you know, we've seen you out there a lot with Monster Truck Challenge and many great, shows you guys have done over the years, but now Monster Nation has truly taken indoor monster trucks to a whole nother level. Now, tell us about the group and all the great things you guys have going here.
Well, Brian Manson and myself, we've just been longtime fans of the sport, and we do get a few times a year we get the opportunity to come out and put on some indoor shows with Frontier Rodeo and D&GB Marketing out of Chicago. They pretty much gave us the ball to do anything we wanted indoors. We've been fans of the sport, like I mentioned, for a long time, and if we're going to get on a plane and work hard for 3 or 4 days, we want to put on a show that, as a fan, we would want to pay money to see.
Well, from the quality of the trucks to the show presentation to the safety and everything, I mean, you guys are really raising the bar. Tell us just a little bit about what, kind of you guys' thought process is when you sit down to put together a show and bring in some talent and get things ready to go.
Well, you guys got to start with the trucks first. I mean, we try to plan out pretty far in advance who we can use, what's going to be available, just going back to the quality aspect of it. With our 3 shows we had this year, we'll probably have 4 again next year like we did last year. We really focus on quality over the quantity, kind of by force and by choice. And then just putting in and looking at the diagram of how much we can fit, what action we can fit in, and what the fans want to see.
All right, well, now tell us a little bit about the show format. Pretty standard with the monster trucks, but everything we've seen, in the different news and that, it's our first time covering it, and it's going to be pretty wild. Tell us what we're going to see here tonight.
Well, we're going to start off with a wheelie contest tonight. So far this year, as you can tell by the shape of some of the trucks here at the pit party, been a little rough. Isaiah and Mike, even Dale Girding, doing some really fantastic wheel stands so far this year. Chicago-style racing. We experimented with a little different track format last week in South Haven, Mississippi. It was a little tighter than we'd like. We might experiment with a little further outdoors, but didn't produce really the speed that we wanted indoors. So we're just going back to traditional Chicago style this weekend. Pretty steep ramps, pretty fast speed, should be pretty good. And then freestyle. Mike Hawkins, very competitive. I don't think I've ever seen Mike more upset and disappointed than when Isaiah looked at him last year and said, "Hey, Mike, I champion." So, I mean, that really got at him. We talked to him. The backflip idea kind of flowed very organically with Mike. We just kind of talked about it, joked about it. It was something we wanted to do in Charlotte last year that kind of didn't come into fruition with some breakage he had early in his freestyle. We tried it in South Haven. We're about 50-50 on it right now. He got really high in the air in his second attempt, so we got the ramp built a little bit differently. Hopefully it won't get as high, but it can still get that full rotation.
Well, you bring up a couple great points, and that's going to be your next interviews here on TMB TV. We're going to talk to last year's Monster Nation champion, Isaiah Morales and Hot Tamale, and then the man who did the backflip last week, Mike Hawkins and Equalizer. Well, here he is, fans, the 2010 Tour champion for the Monster Nation Series, Isaiah Morales, Hot Tamale. Isaiah, it's great to have you back on TMB TV, and pretty wild weekend to start off the year last week, huh?
Yeah, man, we had a good time last weekend. It's the first weekend out. And then we go out there. I was racing a tailgater, and man, I come to that turn too fast, and I just roll them over. And in freestyle, I went out there and rolled it over. So we rolled over twice last weekend. So we didn't have time to put the body, everything together, but we're still here and running hard, and we're going for it.
Well, we know you guys always run hard, and that was how you were able to get that big championship on this tour last year. The level of quality and the level of competition here on Monster Nation is about as high as you're going to find anywhere. What did it mean to you to be the champion last year?
Oh, that meant a lot for me. When they told me I was like 10 points in front of Mike and an Equalizer, I said, well, you got to get a freestyle to get the champion. That's what I got, the freestyle that weekend, and I got the championship for 2010.
Well, now Mike's got, a bit of a different ace up his sleeve for this year. He's doing the backflip thing, and that's making it that much harder to try and repeat as champion this year. When he nails that, it's going to be pretty hard to beat him in freestyle.
Yeah, last weekend he did backflip in Mississippi, and then I have it also freestyle. I had big air, and then he come out there and do backflip. There it is. He went freestyle. Everything was excited, so it's Mike,
Sure is, and we're going to talk to him here in just a minute, but I want to get your thoughts. It's Friday night. We're here in Bossier City. They're looking for a big show. What are we going to see out of Hot Tamale tonight? Man,
I had nothing planned yet, but when I get to warm up a little bit, I always get big air, and then, racing, I think it's going to be a little bit tacky, so we'll see how it's going.
Well, fans, that's the 2010 Monster Nation champion, Isaiah Morales and Hot Tamale. Now we're going to go talk to his teammate and team owner, Mike Hawkins, and Equalizer, who's coming off that big backflip in South Haven. Well, fans, here he is, the man who completed the backflip successfully for the first time last weekend in South Haven. Mike Hawkins, tell us about the Monster Nation Tour. You and Isaiah have been a big part of this ever since it started, and you're all about what they're about, running hard and doing some big stuff. Tell us about this series and what it's like to be running for Monster Nation.
Oh, it's great. Great people to run with. We don't have no problems with anything. They let us run our own show pretty much, as long as we stay, safe and whatnot. Some of the managers, so to say, track people, they can be a pain sometimes, but other than that, it's good.
All right, well, now let's talk about the big story starting off the year. You've joined the Backflip Club. Tell us how the idea to start trying this at these shows came about, and what it took to get it done last weekend.
The idea was, Monster Nation was looking for something new this year to, step it up a notch, as everybody does with monster trucks. And I've seen a few guys do it, and like, hey, want me to do it? Give me a few extra bucks. We'll give it a shot and see what happens.
Well, tell us about that first attempt last week. Friday night, is the first time you'd ever tried this? You rolled up to it and didn't end so well.
No, 10 years of driving, usually when you backside a dirt hill, you let off the gas a little bit right before you get to the top. So it'll set back down, and we hesitated and let off for a second, and the truck kept going up, and we was counting the rafters in the ceiling, and before you know it, it just laid over and crashed on its windshield.
You learned what you needed to that first night, though, because the second night you went out there and did probably what most would say is one of the most picture-perfect backflips that we've seen so far.
Yeah, we was up there. I definitely knew not to lift that night. And, man, pulled the belts a little tighter and hit it, and we nailed it. I was kind of surprised when I sat back down, looked around, and I was right side up.
Now, one thing you're doing a little differently than a lot do, you're doing it as part of your freestyle. So you're going out there and you've got to, still run hard if you want to win those first few hits, but you got the best, ace up your sleeve and coming out and trying to nail that backflip to end it.
Yeah, we're a little gun shy in freestyle because we don't want to tear up before we get to the ramp, because my replacement's Hot Tamale taking place of doing the backflip, and y'all see how much he tears up stuff, so I definitely want to keep that out of his hands right now.
Well, that brings up a good question. We just talked with Isaiah, and he's the defending champion here, the Monster Nation Series. He's wanting to repeat this year, but you're going after him.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because both trucks are mine, and I got to pay for the parts to stay up all night and make sure both of them get fixed to put on a good show for everybody. But, hey, it is what it is. We'll get it done.
All right, well, fans, coming up next here is the wheelie contest. Mike, what are we going to see from the equalizer here to start off 2011 on TMB TV?
Should be really good.